they're building platforms. What? I'm Chosen Architect, and this is my modded adventure. Now, last episode, we did a thing. This thing. Yes, we got into the rats mod last episode, and we ended up using it to basically transfer the inventory from here to get smelted. Anything that can't be smelted then gets passed through as well and goes into a barrel. That was all done last episode, and we started breeding rats. And so now I have significantly more rats. Not a whole lot more, but I do have a few more, given a little bit of time. And today, I want to use the rats to set up a quarry. So essentially what I want to do is a rodent area. Yeah. Now this should be an easy task for them as they are good tunnelers, right? Rats are pretty darn good at tunneling. There are a few hurdles we have to overcome, however, in order to set this up. And there's very limited rat documentation out there over this mod, so I kind of have to sort of experiment with things before we find out if one thing is going to work or not. But I was thinking about this. These rats, they do take damage from things. And I was wondering, would it be good to give these rats flight and also give them the mining buff? Or should I just give them damage protection that usually just protects them from everything? I think that would be a good idea. I know the main thing that I'm worried about is what happens if they're digging a tunnel and all of a sudden they hit lava. Do they just stop? Or do they continue to mine through the lava? These are things that I don't know. And it might be better off just testing out at first and then seeing if we need to upgrade the mobs with these upgrades. Now, you may have noticed I do have some cheese in my inventory. I did make up some cheese because we are going to need a little bit of it. And we're also going to need a little bit of mushroom. So I went ahead and started producing some mushrooms. That in combination with some sugar, and we will have ourselves some blue cheese, which is one of my favorite types of cheese. I know, it's weird, but I do enjoy it. Now, back into the rats mod. So the things that I am going to need, basically the upgrade that we are going to need, is going to be the one that has this little blue icon, the rat upgrade quarry. So this does require some rat paws, and the rat paws are actually sort of a rarish drop that you can get off of killing a rat. However, we did capture a rat last episode, and we put it into our Drigme farm, and we actually get rat paws this way. So that was a nice thing that we managed to get. Otherwise, this would be a relatively difficult thing to obtain had it not been for the Drigme. We would have to just simply kill rats and hope that we get super lucky to get these paws. So now that I got my paws on those, let's go ahead and start crafting this. Now, filth is those compressed garbage blocks that we get from simply placing a material into a trash can. Not a material, but specifically a block. So blocks specifically need to go in here, and if you place it into the trash can, once the trash can's open, by the way, you gotta open the trash can. Come on, trash can. There we go. Then you can start placing it in. And of course, you're gonna end up getting this material, these garbage piles, and then those are gonna be combined and combined once again. And after you have enough of them, you can then make those balls. But thankfully, this little guy over here, the plague doctor, is actually selling filth. So I didn't have to worry about that too much. Another thing that I noticed is it says purified garbage spawns rats without plague on blocks. And that had me kind of worried. Does that mean that plague can spawn on a rat that spawns on this material? And if so, should I remove that? I like it for decoration. I do have some configs in this pack modified to make plague not necessarily spread. So I'm thinking that should fix that problem where we don't have that issue. But still, the fact that this guy is selling this stuff, I was like, oh, that would not be good. All of a sudden, all of my rats are now infected with plague. So back to the rats upgrade. And let's go ahead and make this. So this is going to be an interesting process to watch. I assume that I'm going to need some speed upgrades. I think some speed would be nice for this. But along with this actual quarry, I'm also going to need the actual quarry block, which just requires a bunch of that blue cheese and a diamond. So, oh boy. So yeah, it looks like we're going to have to craft ourselves a diamond. So we'll put that there. Oh, that's right. It requires 4, doesn't it? Oh boy, all of these things, you know, when you go to start working on something and you realize, oh, I don't actually have everything. All right, so diamond, perfect, just like that. And back to the rats and just the quarry, right? Quarry. And we'll make the quarry block. Perfect. So now that we have all of these things, we should be able to just move some rats to an area and just let this start working. I don't know how big of an area this is going to be, but I was thinking this seems like a pretty decent area. So this is the rats quarry. I love how it sounded like blue cheese, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple of spare rats that we have laying around. And let's see if we can't put them to work. So with my rat brigade, which is all stacked up on me, I should be able to place these rats down by punching in the air. Okay, we got them all placed down. And then I need to give them the upgrade. Now, does this say we need to set it to harvest? So all of these rats are going to receive this. Look, they get a little pickaxe. That's adorable. And this one doesn't need to be holding it. There we go. Okay, and then for each of them, it does say that we need to set it to harvest and then set the deposit to the rat quarry block, which is this block right here. So we'll set the rat and then, oh, it gives you an outline of how big it's going to be. So deposit items in the quarry onto this. So that should work. Take items. We just want to set this as the home and then that's deposit. And then same on this one, set home and deposit. And then set home and deposit. Perfect. And then we just need to set them to harvest. And that one's going to start going. Oh boy. But it's a harvest. And you get set to harvest. No way. This is working. I got to turn my magnet off. But they should collect the items and then start putting them in here. They're building platforms. What? This is so cool. But here's the thing that I was wondering, like, what happens if they get to lava? Are we just going to lose them? I know the upgrade wasn't crazy expensive, but still. What is this? Oh, it's so cool to watch them just work. This is satisfying on its own. Now, I have noticed something. They sort of have stopped working, and I'm thinking that's because I might need to set their, yeah, it says reset rats, transfer, so deposit items to this side. So I think that's what's needing to happen, is we'll deposit items onto this side, the side that they built the platform for. And they all seem to be working now. Yeah, there they go. Now, what happens if they, like, are they going to just, like, fall off of this if it gets too low? Like, are they going to take fall damage? Because there are things that will protect them from fall damage, but oh my goodness. So now, one of the upgrades I definitely want to try out is putting flight on one of them, and I want to see, this is supposed to allow them to fly and not be bound to the constraints of the ground. And that would be pretty cool to see. So yeah, again, they're like sort of stuck down here, but they give them a flight, like, what are they doing exactly? I love how he's got wings. He looks like a fly. Oh, this thing is just hilarious. So yeah, it seems like they do get stuck from time to time, so you do have to babysit it a little bit. And I set their deposit location to the top of this block, and that seems to have helped a little bit. Also, the wings definitely does not work for these rats, as they do need to work their way back up. But yeah, they are depositing the items into this inventory. And then I'm assuming we could use another rat to potentially take these and send them elsewhere. So I just gave all of these rats, I don't even know if I can grab one, a speed upgrade, just a single speed upgrade. And these guys are now like spinning through here like they're a Beyblade. I don't even know what's going on right now. They're not taking fall damage. I feel like they have immunities and stuff while they're doing this particular action, because I see them falling and they're not taking any, it doesn't seem like any fall damage at all. But I did want to do this. So now that we have this quarry set up, I want to now use a rat to potentially send the items from this quarry to another inventory somewhere. Potentially somewhere near our forge over here. So what I'm thinking about doing is I want to set this barrel, for example, right here. And then let's take the rat off of our shoulders. And this rat, I'm going to give a couple of upgrades. I want to try out that flying upgrade and then a plate upgrade, which is going to allow it to transfer a full stack at a time. So when we set this, I want to set this as its home location right here. So I'm going to set the home point, and then this needs to be deposit item. I want this to send items. So take items from deposit items. Okay. And then over here, I want it to take items from this. And hopefully it doesn't have any issues with this. But I want it to take items from the quarry. This is all really easy to handle. Like I'm actually really impressed with how nice this looks. And then on this, we just need to switch it to transport items. How do you work? Okay. So you're not flying a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of flying going on. So I wonder exactly how the flying is supposed to work. That is, yeah, I don't think that that's working, but just letting it walk seems to be working just fine. It doesn't like the fence post here. I feel like there's a little bit of bugginess that can happen, but so long as we give them a clear path, it seems like it's happy, right? So it's finding a way, but it's definitely trying to take the shortest path. But I think that works out fine. It transferring all the items into the crate, and then we can start to manage the items from the crate and start to manage them putting them into these inventories and routing items around using rats. That's honestly cool. Now, having everything route into this crate is some forward thinking on my part, because let's say we need to move this quarry and we need to put it in a different location. So if we do that, then we won't have to relocate and redo all of this work where we have items basically routing and stuff like that. So being able to have that there is going to make it a little bit easier. And just look at him, he's just waiting for the new items. I have noticed that the rats, they can get themselves stuck. So they do some weird stuff. And for example, right here, they're stuck. And that's because they didn't place a platform for some reason. And I don't know if it's because they're moving way too fast and I can't even interact with them. For example, I'm going to start taking these upgrades out, and maybe that'll make them a little bit better at what they're doing. Because, yeah, I think that them moving too fast is causing problems. Now, something else I wanted to test is, will the platter, if you like give them a platter, will that mean they can hold more than one item at a time? I don't know. That's something that I want to also see. It looks like they'll continue to maybe harvest. Nope, it seems like they still basically come down here and only collect really one item. Nope, they grabbed two. They seem like they're staying down here a little bit longer. Can't exactly tell though. It is kind of goofy. So I am going through here and still decorating this because, well, this is now a permanent hole in our little base here. So definitely want to make sure to integrate it into the setup. Kind of fits because this is like our mine that takes us all the way down. And this is kind of becoming our new little mine area. Oh my gosh, I guess through selective breeding, I don't know if that's how this works with the breeding, but we ended up getting an albino rat. That's pretty cool. I'm going to use you for our sort of sorting. This is going to go for items that just need to be smelted. And I'm thinking about the way to do this is to link it to this inventory over here. So we're going to place it down, and basically your job which this reminds me of Pinky and the Brain. I don't, it's just, they were two albino testing rats. It's just hilarious. I'm not testing on you, I promise. Not yet anyways. Now we can set up a whitelist, and I'm hoping that we can say raw, and I'm hoping that we can drag items. No, we cannot. So we're going to have to specify, I guess, as we get items, what you can and cannot put in here. I think these grass blocks are for me, that ended up picking up. But yeah, I think what I want it to do, I guess for right now, we could say, let's whitelist only cobble for now. And I'm going to put that upgrade in you. And we're going to link this. Let's go ahead and set this guy's home right here in the corner. So that's your home. And we are going to say take items from the crate. And you're going to send items to be smelted in this barrel. Deposit items into this barrel. So as soon as I set you to start depositing items, you're going to grab the items and bam, it put it in there and is now generating the stone from the cobble that it put in. And of course I can give it a stack upgrade and it can do a stack and so on and so forth. But this is going to be something that I think takes a little bit of time. By the way, I think there's got to be some sort of code that goes, if you haven't made it back to your destination in a certain amount of time, to turn or something, because it does get stuck on things like this. So I'm going to take this filter out for right now, and I should probably stop it, but I'm going to add zinc. So we should be able to add zinc to it, and so on and so forth. At least it gives me an easy way for me to put the upgrade back in. And of course, as we start getting more items and more stuff that we want to smelt, then this is where that's going to come into play. So it should be able to find those items. And then we're also going to probably want another one that does something a little bit different. This is whitelisting the items, meaning that it'll only pull those. But we kind of want to do something with some of these other items. And we might end up just taking those items and putting them into maybe some drawers or something. Now, cheese is something that I'm using a lot of for all of these upgrades. So I'm like, you know what? This is a curdling station from the same mod. And if we take some buckets, maybe we can automate the production of cheese. That shouldn't be too difficult to do. I had some buckets in my inventory. Yeah, this shouldn't be too easy or too difficult to do. I don't know if we can directly use rats to do it unless we had physical cows. Because I know there are some milking upgrades for the cows. But this has a hopper in it, which means I'm assuming it can send automatically to an inventory. Let's actually put this on a barrel. For example, this barrel right here. And I want cheese. We're going to need quite a bit of it. So let's go ahead and fill this with some milk. Just like that. Perfect. And so I'm guessing this is just going to produce the cheese. Okay, even though it had a hopper in it, it still needs to be filled up. Okay, that's interesting. But we could probably use a rat to do this. But anyways, the reason why I also need a lot of cheese is because I need to feed these rats a bunch of cheese. And what I'm wanting from them is rat poop. We need nuggets. Rat nuggets. As you see right there, we are going to need these because I think we can send our mining upgrade. I think we can upgrade our mine even more by allowing the rats to double the ore that they find by eating it and then pooping it out. Now, I want to try something because I think that this container has a fluid buffer. So let's go ahead and upgrade our little rat here. And this one's, of course, my favorite. And we're going to take this one and we're going to link it to this. We want to take from the containment jar, and then we want to deposit into this. Now it's going to send fluids, and then we can go ahead and set the home location of the rat there. Let's go ahead and set you to transport items. And will you work? Okay, so it's trying to use a bucket on the containment jar, but unfortunately that doesn't work. So I might have a solution to this. Oh, nope, cow. There you go. Cow goes here, even though it looks like a pig in the face. And then I need to take your upgrade, and there's an upgrade that I can make that should allow me to milk cows with rats. This one right here. Oh yeah, we're also going to need a bucket of milk. course we are. Oh, wait. No, I can easily just place my container down and we can get that. Perfect. Okay. So now this should allow me to just simply use the cow, the physical cow, and that should work with the rat. Okay. So we'll put this in and then we'll mark the rat and then the cow. I think it'll just gather nearby. And then we need to deposit into this. So I think this needs to be set instead to harvest. And there it goes. Perfect. And so now it pulls the milk from there and puts it into the station. And it's just going to work. That's exactly what I need to happen. And then, of course, we take the cheese. And then we're going to feed it to the rat. So that way it produces more of the nuggets. Oh, wait. Maybe the rat can't eat. Oh, it can't eat while it's doing the operation. So instead, we'll have to use another rat. And she will have to do. We have 3 so far. We only need 4 in order to make this. But of course, we're going to need more than this because we have 3 rats that are constantly doing the quarry. Oh, man. It's pretty weird. They also make like this little farting noise as well when it happens. This is all goofy stuff. So after giving that rat more cheese than I would ever deem humane, we should now have enough nuggets. However, I am going to need a couple more diamonds, which I should check my iron supply to make sure I have enough for. Oh yeah, I have plenty for this. Okay, because all we need is 2, 3, 4. We're just going to need a couple more of our, a couple more diamonds. I think 3 total for this whole thing. And some iron blocks as well. So yeah, that does tend to add up a little bit. But yeah, this is interesting. A little interesting thing that it doesn't dump those items. But yeah, 3 diamonds in total. And we'll use this with an upgrade. And I believe that's some coal to be able to produce the upgrades we need here. Yeah, blocks of iron. I'm curious as to how this is going to affect our mob farm. So rat upgrade or doubling. So let's check back in with our rats. And I'm wondering if I'm doing this correctly or not. So they're having a poker game night, apparently. We put this on them. Will this mean the ore that they collect will be turned into the poop? That's what I'm not quite sure of. But I'm sure we'll find out. Yeah, they sometimes have this issue where they don't place a platform in the appropriate location. It happens. So they're going to deposit the stuff. And I'll have to, I guess, wait and see. They still haven't made it super far down here yet because mines go really far. The only way we'll be able to see is, for example, if they mine up some iron ore. So to test this, I'm going to lay out some ore for them to harvest. And I kind of want to see, are they going to go after this and are they going to stop for a moment and eat? I wonder. Because they're not supposed to bring it, but it might be from prior versions. So it did drop the raw nugget. They didn't pick it up either. Okay, they have it in their inventory, but they are not eating it. And I wonder if this is a old side effect, which it might be, from the prior versions of Minecraft, where, of course, iron was in ore form, and there was really no other thing. And then now in this new form, we have these raw versions. Yeah, and so it just ends up putting the raw version in here, unfortunately. So yeah, I may have made too many of these without any experimentation, but this, I think, is how it's supposed to work. So, as you see, they eat that, and then you end up getting nuggets, and then when you right-click, they turn into ingots. So, that's actually kind of cool that it does that, but unfortunately, they don't harvest raw ore, and I didn't even see a silk touch. So if they were able to silk touch, that'd be really great. But I couldn't find a way to silk touch. Maybe you guys know. But you know, for what this has been a really fun experiment with the Rats mod. And I cannot wait to use this more for even cooler things in the future. So once we have other means of mining resources and other quarries, we can potentially use rats in order to manage all of our items with those as well, because I do like them transferring items. It is pretty cool. Now, with that said, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and hopefully you learned a little bit about the rats mod. I know I certainly did. And if you did, be sure to click that subscribe button and make our little rat friends happy. Give this video a huge thumbs up if you did enjoy as well. And guys, it's now time to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode. And that huge thanks is going to go out to Jay Donovan over on the Discord, becoming a Discord premium member and supporting in one of the best ways possible. Guys, I thank you so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next one. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye.